We have quorum. Looks like we do.
Yes, we do.
All right. Thank you so much, Robert. All right. Good evening. My name is Rolando Bonilla, and I am the chair of the San Jose Planning Commission. Welcome to the Planning Commission meeting. This meeting is being held via Zoom conference call due to the COVID-19 crisis. Members of the public may participate by following the instructions listed on the agenda. You may also view and listen to the meeting on live stream cable TV, Granicus, and YouTube. Following roll call during the summary of hearing procedure, we will review how the public may provide comment during tonight's session. Roll call. Bonilla here. Casey.
Here.
Caballero. Caballero. Cantrell.
Here.
Garcia. Garcia. Pardenois.
Here.
Montañez.
Here.
Oliverio. Oliverio. Ornelas Wines is absent. Torrance.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Let the record reflect that as of this moment, Caballero, Garcia, Oliverio, and Ornelas Wines are absent. Summary of hearing procedures. The procedure for this hearing is as follows. After the staff report, applicants and appellants may make a 5-minute presentation. City staff will call out names of the public who identified the items they want to speak on. Excuse me. Excuse me. City staff will call out names of the public who identified the items they want to speak on. You may identify yourself by the raise hand feature on Zoom. Click *9 on your phone, or you may call 408-535-3505 or email planning support staff at sanjoseca.gov and identify your name, phone number, and what item or items you'd like to speak on. As your name is called, city staff will unmute you to speak. After we confirm your audio is working, your allotted time will begin. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. Speakers using a translator will have 4 minutes. After the public testimony, the applicant and appellant may make closing remarks for an additional 5 minutes. Planning commissioners may ask questions of the speakers. Response to commissioner questions will not reduce the speaker's time allowance. Staff will unmute the speaker to respond to the commissioner. The public hearing will then be closed and the planning commission will take action on the item. The planning commission may request staff to respond to the public testimony, ask staff questions, and discuss the item. If you challenge these land use decisions in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at this public hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the city at or prior to the public hearing. The Planning Commission's action on rezonings, pre-zonings, general plan amendments, and code amendments is only advisory to the City Council. The City Council will hold public hearings on these items. Section 20.120.400 of the Municipal Code provides the procedures for legal protests to the City Council on rezonings and pre-zonings. The Planning Commission's action on conditional use permits is appealable to the City Council in accordance with Section 20.100.220 of the Municipal Code. With that, we'll now go on to item 1, call to order orders of the day. Now item 2, public comment. Is there any public comment on items that are not on our agenda? Staff, do we have any public comment?
No, we don't.
Great. Seeing none, public comment for non-agendized items is closed.
I actually see, looks like there's a hand up.
Yes, Todd Smith.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time. I wanted to talk about the public comment on the Guadora.
Yeah, that item is on the agenda, so this is not the appropriate time for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, public comment is now closed. Item 3, deferrals and removals from calendar. Staff, it doesn't look like we have anything to remove or defer. Is that still the position?
That's correct.
All right, perfect. Thank you. We will now move on to item 4, the consent calendar. I'm going to break this out. Let's first vote on item 4A, review and approve action item minutes from June 8th, 2022. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
All right, I think I heard.
Actually, I sensed some issues with the minutes that I'm not sure were reflected or updated.
Okay, so before we do that, we have a motion on the floor from Lord Denois and a second from Oliverio. Is that correct?
Sure.
All right, but before we do that, Commissioner Cantrell.
Actually, hold on, let me look at my notes. I'm sorry. I thought that they would update this. reflected that I did not vote no on the first item, and I did. So I wanted to have that changed. And I wasn't clear on the second vote for the parking proposal. It appeared to say that we were agreeing with the proposal as it was, and that it would be moved forward, but not that it was being reviewed again later at a subsequent date. So just wasn't clear on those two items.
Mark, should we then just, to our council, should we then just go ahead and move these minutes over to a future meeting? Or how do you suggest we proceed with these changes?
Well, if everyone's in agreement with the changes that were made by the commissioner, if that reflects everybody's reflection of what occurred, we can go ahead and make that change today, or we can put it over if additional research to go back and look at the record and confirm what happened, that then we should put it on for another meeting.
Okay, and what is the pleasure of my colleagues here? I can go either way. So anyone want to weigh in? Otherwise, what I'll do is go ahead, Commissioner Oliverio.
Chair, I believe, based on the other commissioner's comment, that one is to correct his vote on an item, and the other is to reflect the Planning Commission vote on parking was to allow the study to go forward by the city council, which the city council affirmed, and then it'll come back to Planning Commission, I believe, in the fall.
Okay, so then we could go ahead and we're okay then with just going ahead and approving the minutes contingent on these edits being made?
Commissioner Cantrell, does that reflect,
Yes,
summarize? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So then with that, then we'll go ahead and vote with that contingency in place. And let's go ahead and vote. Bonilla, yes. Casey?
Was absent. Do I?
Then you can, but
I think we discussed a future meeting or previous meeting that we don't need to abstain if we weren't present.
yeah, you can.
prefer to abstain. I didn't know what happened. Sorry.
Perfect. Yeah. Yes. Casey abstain. Caballero? Still not here. Cantrell?
Yes.
Garcia? Still not here. Lordinois?
Yes.
One thing, yes.
Abstain.
Abstain?
Yes, abstain.
Oliverio?
Yes.
No else one is absent. Torrance?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
All right. With that, it passes. And now for the remaining balance of the consent calendar, do we have a motion on the floor to approve the items B through F of the consent calendar?
Chair, I'd like to ask Mark a question. I don't think I need to pull the item though.
Go ahead.
Sure. So Mark, regarding item 4E, I believe, let me double check the agenda, make sure that's the correct one that I'm referring to. Yeah, so for 4E, we got an email from a member of the public raising legal issues with this. I just wanted to clarify with you if there was anything raised there that we need to be mindful of.
Not this particular commission, no.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. With that, do we have Commissioner Oliverio? Your hand is up.
Yeah, I just was asking, were there any requests to speak on any of these consent items? And if there is not, then we could make a motion to approve them all.
My apologies. Forgot about that. Do we have any public comment on consent? See, my last meeting, I'm already slacking off. Do we have any public comment on consent?
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay.
Okay.
Seeing none, do we have a motion on the floor for items 4B to 4F?
So moved.
Second.
Lardinois, Oliverio. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a roll call vote. Bonilla, yes. Casey?
Yes.
Caballero? Cantrell?
Yes.
Garcia? Lardinois?
Yes.
One thing, yes.
Yes.
Oliverio?
Yes.
Unless Wise is absent. Torrance?
Yes.
and Young.
Yes.
Okay, with that, the remaining balance of the consent calendar is passed. Good save, Chair-elect Oliverio. All right. So with that, we will now move on to item 5A, public hearing. Staff, when you're ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Bonilla and Commissioners. This is Angela Wang, Planning Project Manager with Planning, Building, and Code Enforcement. This is a site development permit to allow the addition of 2 hydrogen fueling dispensers and the associated equipment, a covered trash enclosure, and a 7-foot high concrete block wall along the adjacent residential property to relocate an existing storage container and to legalize an unpermitted parking lot to the east of the existing building on an existing gas and service station property located on a 0.44-acre site at 510 East San Carlos Street. This site development permit was approved at the March 9th Director's hearing. An appeal of planning director's decision approving this permit was submitted on March 21st by the owner of the property to the south of the project site. And the appeal form cites hazardous operations and criminal business as the reasons for the appeal. The appellant is not appealing the CEQA clearance for the project. The appellant has expressed to staff and stated at the director's hearing that the existing gas station and the auto repair service have created a nuisance in the neighborhood, and there have been illegal activities such as outdoor vehicle storage and repair and 24-hour operation of the gas station. He also expressed concern about the glare towards his property from the existing exterior lights on the building. The project includes some site improvements to address the issues raised by the appellant, including a 7-foot high block wall along the shell property line, combined with a 5 to 6.4 foot wide landscape strip with shrubs, a new covered trash enclosure, and replacing the existing wall mounted light facing the residential property with fully shielded light fixtures. In addition to the site improvements, the project design minimizes the impact to the adjacent residential properties by locating the new hydrogen fueling dispensers further away from the shell property line than the existing fuel dispensers, and restricting the operation hours of the hydrogen fueling dispensers from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. The 2 conditions of approval are included: requiring the operation and site be maintained in a nuisance-free manner, and all graffiti to be removed from the buildings and wall surfaces, including job sites for projects under construction within 48 hours of defacement. Another condition is included to only allow outdoor storage as shown on the approved project plan. This project plan does not include any outdoor auto repair areas, and there's only 1 existing storage cabinet on site. The code enforcement inspectors have been to the site multiple times, and they have confirmed that currently the only pending code violation case is the unpermitted parking lot, which will be legalized with the approval of this site development permit. And the project is consistent with the neighborhood community commercial general plan land use designation and council policies, and complies with the development standards for the commercial general zoning district as discussed in the staff report. Therefore, staff recommends the Planning Commission to deny the appeal and approve this site development permit. This concludes staff report.
Angela, thank you. And before we go on, if we can all turn off our mics, I keep hearing voices in the back, and I know it's not, I don't think it's you. I think someone else has their mic on. So if we can make sure our mics are off, that'd be great. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and provide the applicant 5 minutes for their presentation, and staff, if we can monitor that 5 minutes, that'd be great. Thank you. Do we have the applicant?
He has the hand raised. I think we have to unmute him.
Logan, you should be able to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me? This is
We hear
Logan
you.
with IND Consulting.
Perfect.
Awesome, great. Thank you, Angela, for that rundown of everything. Like she said, this has already been approved, and most of the issues that are being raised, we're making every attempt to make the site better for the neighboring property owner. So I hope that kind of comes in the plan we've put forward here. So we're doing what we can. And I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we do have Mike Strada with First Element Fuel also on the call, and he can kind of talk about First Element as a company and maybe answer some more questions you guys might have. So I'll concede my time to him.
Good evening, everyone. We really appreciate this opportunity to speak with you. I'm Mike Strada. I'm with First Element Fuel. I've been with the company for about 6 years. We currently operate 36 gas stations throughout the state of California, as well as I believe there's 2 of them currently operating in the San Jose area, with a 4th one that we'll be looking to possibly get permitted in the next year or so with you guys as well. I don't know if it was mentioned, but there's also a request that we increase the wall height from 7 feet to 8 feet to help with some of that glare. Just want to bring that up so we know that we are willing to go that extra foot if required to do that to help with a neighbor. We've spoken to the landowner and let them know that the current request by him as well to help mitigate some of the parking that's going on site. And we've spoken to the restaurant, the neighboring restaurant as well, to let them know what's going on and made sure that we are being as conscientious to their business as well. Just a little more detail about the First Element Fuel group. We currently run a liquid station that will be the same system that is off of Snell Avenue and Capitola Parkway. So it would be a very similar system going in there. So the equipment's been used previously and can be seen there. And we are very happy to continue our relationship with the city.
All right. Are you yielding the remaining balance of your time?
Yes, unless we have Tyler Faria on the line too as well, if he wants to add anything. Take that as a no.
I was going to say, I think that is a no as well. Okay. Well, thank you for that. We'll now go ahead and move on to the appellant presentation, 5 minutes.
Yeah, we don't see he is on this Zoom meeting. I don't think.
There's no hand raised.
No hand raised. Okay. So I do have a hand raised from one of my colleagues. So while we're trying to figure that out, Commissioner Young.
So can I confirm with staff the appellant is not present?
They're not present. Okay. Was that
So
true?
I'm
Was that
going
true? Okay.
to make a motion that we deny the appeal and approve the site development permit.
Second.
And
That works for me. Okay. So let's go ahead and I will get the public comment, but let's go ahead and take a roll call vote. Bonilla, yes. Casey?
Yes.
Caballero, absent. Cantrell?
Yes.
Garcia? Still out. Lordinois?
Yes.
Montañez?
yes.
Oliverio?
Chair, I have a question on the motion.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Young, it was mentioned that the applicant would be open to a foot taller, which would seem to make the neighbors happy if it was required. Would your motion include that extra foot of height on the fence, or would you prefer to keep it the way it is?
I prefer to keep it the way it is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Oliverio?
Yes.
Yes. Ornelas Wise? Absent. Torrance?
Yes.
And Young?
Yes.
All right. With that, the motion passes. Do we have any public comment on this item? Nope. Nope. Seeing none, We'll now move over to item 5B. Staff, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Evening, commissioners. Evening, chair. Let me pull up my slides real quick. I just have a few quick ones, and I'll pass it off to the applicant and appellant. All right. Okay. Before you is item 5B. This is the Sikh Gurdwara expansion appeal. So this project is located at 3636 Gurdwara Avenue. It's an existing Sikh Gurdwara temple located in District 8. The project would allow for a second-story addition to 2 existing religious assembly function halls. They're located in the front of the building. This would be 2-story additions, approximately 35 feet in height. In addition, the project would include some minor site improvements, including landscaping, gate, repaving and restriping. And then lastly, they would have 8 new non-occupiable architectural features. They're the traditional domes that you see existing on top of the Gurdwara already. They would be adding 8 new domes. With regards to the appeal, so this project was approved at director's hearing on April 13th, 2022, and it was appealed by a neighbor within 1,000 feet of the site on April 25th, 2022. Specifically, the appellant is not appealing the CEQA clearance, but the plan development permit. And within that, it's the plan development permit conditions of the original plan development permit for the site. So without going too long on this, essentially this plan development permit amendment includes a condition, it's condition number 8 on the attached draft resolution, that requires that this amendment conform with all of the previous conditions of the original development of the site. This is common for most amendments to include these types of conditions. But specifically, the appellant has appealed this permit on the grounds that the applicant has repeatedly violated condition number 34, which includes hours of operation, requirement that all indoor activity be all activity occur indoors, as well as no amplified sound. And while staff is sensitive to these issues, we just want to be clear that the Planning Commission is not the forum for code enforcement. And so staff has directed the applicant to submit a code enforcement case in order to resolve any of these past concerns that were mentioned in the appeal application that you all received. One last thing I would like to point out that this plan development permit does actually rectify an existing code enforcement case, and that is for the illegal installation of a gate along Quimby Road. So as part of this plan development permit amendment, the applicant is replacing the gate with a manual swing gate as opposed to what was illegally installed.
And Alec, not to cut you off, just to clarify really quickly, when you bring up the bullet points of hours of operation, indoor activity, amplified sound, you were stating that these are allegations being made by the appellant. Correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay,
so these are, and
exactly.
I can pull this up after the fact. We have the original permit, but yeah, so these are the conditions that the appellant is alleging, right?
Alleging.
Understood.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and so I won't go into too much. I'll allow the appellant to actually go into that.
Totally.
But so
I just thought it was important to clarify
Yes,
that because
yes,
here on this
thank
document, it feels like it's the official position of the city, but it's the allegation of the appellant.
Right.
That's an important distinction.
Thank you for clarifying. Yes. Yes.
Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
No. Actually, I mean, that's about it. So essentially, we are recommending that the Planning Commission adopt the resolution denying the permit appeal and approving the plan development permit amendment. So with that, I will allow the applicant to present. It's Surjit.
Chairman Alec, the floor is yours. Thank you for that. Thanks, man. Thank you. It's my last meeting. I can have fun, right? Go ahead to the applicant. 5 minutes. Are we having technical difficulties?
Hey, Yen, can you move over? It's Surjit Bain.
Yes, I just sent
You
it.
see him? He's in the attendees side.
I can get him over here on my. He's in
Oh,
the
there we
other
go.
room, but, hold on, let me get him 1 second. Okay, he's in the other room. 1 second.
Can you also move over Jesse Singh? He's got his hand up. Yeah.
Hi.
How are you, sir? You
I'm
have
fine, sir. How are you?
I'm well. You have 5 minutes, so let's
Yes,
if
sir.
you may
Yes,
respectfully
sir.
get started. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, I was on the other computer and it doesn't work. So I'm just will be quick so I can be in 5 minutes. First of all, my name is Sarjeet Singh Bains and I'm the coordinator for this project. First of all, I'd like to thank all the respected planning commissioners, city staff, and all the attendees. This project is very needed for our congregation to meet their wishes for number of functions, and all these functions need to be inside. That's what we are asking for the extension. We are working with the city staff for last 4 years and fulfilled all their requirements. Planning director has approved this project on April 13 with some of the condition, and we are respectfully asking you to reconsider these conditions, and the letter from our attorney has been supplied to you. The project is supported by the nearby neighbors, and we have submitted all their letters, and they have no issue for the noise and also the daily operation of our temple. We have good relation with the neighbors and promote the partnership concept with the neighbors and inviting them on the main events such as July 4th, socializing, ice cream socializing, Sikh parade, 5K run, and Hola Mahalla. And other communities are also using our facility to like such as yoga classes, children playground, and other sports activities. And the appellant has no objection for this project, but he has some concern about the code enforcement violation. We just want to let you know that we are complying with all the original permit condition, PD permit condition, and we will continue comply on that one. And there was only one violation, which Alec has mentioned, and we are doing this in this project, and there is no other pending violations. To briefly answer his concern, we sent him the message and called him number of times to meet us at the common place to go over his concern. But he was insisting to meet us at a temple with the code enforcement inspector. And we said, let's meet at a coffee place and go over these issues, and we can always meet at the temple at later date. But no luck on that one. His appeal is costing us thousands of dollars and delaying the project. Bob Dillon, our president and former planning commissioner, has invited him on those functions which we invite the other neighbors, but so far there was no luck, and so we were not lucky to have this one. But we like to have a good relation with him, and we like him to meet with us and discuss any issues, and so we like you to for this project. We hopefully you have this one, and we like this. This is needed for our community, and there is functions. And the only thing he was saying that there is loudspeaker issues and those things, and those are within our limit, noise limit. And we have a function outside.
Thank you, sir, for your time. I think we've exceeded the 5 minutes and stuff. Can we stay tight on that time? And if we're not, then I'll go ahead and keep time. But thank you for that. I will now go ahead and allow for the appellant to make a 5-minute presentation. And sir, you're going to get another 5 minutes after public comment, so keep that in mind. Okay, the appellant presentation, 5 minutes. Do we have the appellant? Looks like we.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Good evening, Chair Bonilla. This is your last meeting. Congratulations. I've been in that position before, 8 years on the Planning Commission, so ending is bittersweet. Thank you, esteemed commissioners, and thank you for hearing this. I want to thank the staff for following up and for providing some excellent customer service. As was stated by the staff member, Alec, my concern isn't necessarily with the expansion of the project, except from the perspective of enforcement of the conditions that are in the original permit. In the original permit under number 34, there was a significant number of items that dealt with everything from occupancy, peak hour trips, hours of operation, and so on. And the ones that I specifically had an issue with was the times of operation, outdoor noise, and outdoor services. Excuse me, there was a specific item 34E, which says all worship activities or other organized social activities shall be conducted indoors. And for the last, I'll just be kind and say 5 years, they have been conducting outdoor services. I have been in contact with Mr. Dillon a number of times, who was supposedly the coordinator, and I have some responses here from him regarding texts that I sent him, and he would respond with things like, learn to enjoy the sounds from your neighborhood and don't be like Trump, right? So his responses to me were quite dismissive, and he acknowledged the fact that the noise was coming, that sound was emanating quite clearly beyond the boundaries of the facility. Also, code enforcement was out there after I did make a code enforcement complaint. It took 7 weeks for them to get somebody to go out there after hours and on the weekends because of staffing issues. My understanding is that the weekend and after hours person aren't there anymore, so they had to grant overtime. It took 7 weeks for that to be approved. And finally, a code enforcement gentleman went out there, Mr. Armando Lara, and had spoken with somebody who did admit that there were weddings twice a week outdoors. And then he noticed the outdoor sound equipment that was there on the facility. Okay, I've got recordings that I can send you if that helps at all. I decided not to kill your emails with very long MP4s, but you know, that clearly depict the let's just say that the sound coming from the site to my bedroom window, okay, which is over 1,000 feet from the site of where the service is actually being held, because there's a whole bunch of parking between my house and the site. My site is about 300 feet from the corner of the site, okay? So my issue isn't so much what they want to expand, except to ensure that they're using it specifically for what it was intended and not as a catering hall. Okay, they want to do weddings, and they specifically state in the permit here that they want to have receptions afterwards. Now, a PQP does not allow for commercial uses, and a catering hall is a commercial use. If they have weddings and they allow there to be receptions that are paid for, it is a catering hall. So my concern is that we put in place the conditions and the appropriate ways to abate any code violations, right? And that's really what it comes down to. When I sat in those seats also many years ago, my concern has always been, will the city be able to enforce its CUP when a site is granted a permit? And I'm finding that, unfortunately, the city has staffing issues, and I would just like there to be safeguards in place. He may have 1,000 emails from people who attend the Gurdwara saying that everything's wonderful. And for the most part, they are. I can't argue with that. They are an asset to the community. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just asking them to stay within the use permit. Now, the one concern I have with what has been recommended is under number H, it says that notices for such meetings, they're talking about putting up the community relations meetings.
All right, Mr. Zito, we are now at the 5-minute mark. Thank you for that. All right, we will now go ahead and take in public comment. Do we have any public comment on this item? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands up. Let's go ahead and start a public comment.
Patrick, please unmute yourself.
Hi, my name is Patrick McGarity, and I'm calling in on behalf of Councilmember Sylvia Arenas, who represents the district that this project is being considered in. Councilor Arenas strongly supports the Sikh Gurdwara's application and urges you to approve the permit amendment and reject the appeal. Councilor Arenas' support is consistent with widespread support in our District 8 community for the Gurdwara. I have served District 8 for over 5 years and have never had any community member bring concerns with the Gurdwara to the office in that time, other than the appellant, who is not the closest neighbor to the site. It is also important for the Planning Commission to understand that the appellant has specifically targeted this community and opposed it since its very inception, going back decades, including suing the Gurdwara to try to stop the original project. We also have serious concerns about the First Amendment rights and the ability to have religious practices not be infringed, and the concerns just expressed by the appellant regarding wedding ceremonies, I think is a particularly important thing for the commission to note. Just to summarize, Councilor Arenas strongly encourages the commission to follow staff direction and leave questions of code enforcement to the code enforcement process. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Jasper, please unmute.
Good afternoon, all of the honorable. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay.
We can
All
start
right.
the 2 minutes now. Thank you.
All right. First of all, I just wanted, I've been a member of the temple for the last 25 years here, and the Mr. Zito, last 2 years, as you know, the governors and the county regulations were that we could not hold any programs inside. So therefore, we had set up a tent outside, and we did do programs outside, but due to COVID only. Since all those restrictions were lifted, we have been doing all the programs inside, and we have had all the support from the community, no other code violations. We have never had a call from the city that your instruments are loud. I've spoken to Mr. Zito via text. He had complained that there was a function going on, and I was there at the temple. There was absolutely no function going on. Regardless, these are all baseless claims by Mr. Zito, and we urge you to approve our project so we can move forward with building it as it's becoming a necessity for our congregation. And we thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Todd Smith.
Todd, please unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to me and the time of the council. By Mr. Zito's own admission, he just stated that he's over 1,000 feet away from the complex of the Gurdwara. So right there, his entire appeal should be thrown out. I really would like to ask him, as a member of St. Francis of Assisi, where he's also a member, why we're allowed to have church weddings and outdoor events and speakers, and yet he wants the Gurdwara not to have those things. If he wants to complain about loudspeakers, what about the Evergreen High School football games? My house is several 1,000 feet away from the Evergreen High School, but I can hear those football games being broadcast. Why is that not an issue? It seems to me that Mr. Zito's real issue is not with the noise complaint or any other things. Mr. Zito's issue is that he doesn't like the temple. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Next speaker, Patty Andrade. You have 2 minutes.
Patty, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Good evening, Planning Commissioners. My name is Patricia Andrade, Patty, and I'm here to speak on item 5B in support of the Gurdwara's planned project, and I ask that you reject Mr. Zito's appeal. I am a neighbor of the Sikh Gurdwara and have lived on Chaboya Court since 2003. There's only one road that leads to our home, Chaboya Road, and we drive by the Gurdwara multiple times a day, sometimes every day of the week. As a direct neighbor of the Gurdwara, any event that is held has a direct impact on us, as Chaboya Road is also used by members of the Gurdwara to access the temple. I can tell you that it has not impacted us negatively. We sometimes sleep with our windows open throughout the year, and not once have we heard noise in the early hours of the morning. We can hear the sound of the high school during evening games, and that is a little short of a mile further down the road from the Gurdwara. So if the Gurdwara was hosting events at 5 a.m., we would hear it. The Gurdwara has hosted events that have supported not only the Evergreen community, but the city of San Jose. Last year, they hosted a COVID-19 vaccination clinic. They host 4th of July community events. They've held ice cream parties for the community, and they welcome anyone who wants to visit and invites us to break bread with them too. From our home, we can sit outside and enjoy the view of San Jose peacefully and quietly. We appreciate having the Gurdwara as a neighbor. We appreciate the work that they do for our community. Although we are not members of the Gurdwara, we feel part of their community because of the effort they put into building relationship with the neighbors. I can also tell you that when I did raise a traffic safety concern a few years back, they were happy to discuss the solution and we resolved it. We are fortunate to live where we do, and we know that the best way to enjoy living here is to communicate, celebrate diversity, and come together.
Thank you. Next speaker, the Honorable former Vice Mayor of the city, Rose Herrera. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chair Bonilla. Yes, I'm here tonight in support of the Gurdwara's Plan Development Permit Amendment and opposing the appellant's appeal. Not only are they a wonderful neighbor, and I've known them for many, many years, but also when I was on the city council, worked with them during the years of 2009 through 2016. I'm just very impressed with all of the things they not only do for their own community, for the general community. I think it's already been brought out, but feeding and clothing the homeless each month, providing packaged foods and drinks to all in the schools, parks, and police stations during the COVID pandemic. They've had vigils there when needed to bring the community together. They've had financial and food help to help fire victims, local and abroad. They partner with the local schools, churches, and mosques. They've had emergency shelter center in case of natural disasters. They've had state-of-the-art children's playground open to all members and non-members. Sikh Awareness Annual Month in November. The annual 4th of July open to everybody. Free kitchen for all, feeding people, free tutoring, medical attention. They have a free medical clinic. They participated when we put together the lighting installation in down in the Evergreen Village Square. They contributed $10,000 to that effort. They provide free transportation to all seniors. They have environmentally friendly projects. The solar project they've done on the EV charging situation to all members and non-members. So the Gurdwara has done a lot for its own community, for the community at large. Their project is not, I've read what they were promoting to do on their project. It seems very reasonable. And I do think that any issues that might arise could be resolved through the code enforcement and not using this to try to stop this project. So I strongly support it. And thank you for hearing me.
Thank you for joining us. All right, next public speaker, Mr. Larson, 2 minutes.
Mr. Larson, please unmute and state your full name.
It's Mr. Larson here. Okay, I've been living here. I'm a parent, and I've been living here for over 40 years. And I got involved with the Sikh Gurdwara about 10 years ago as a volunteer. I wanted to just say that I've been up there as a volunteer, and we've helped people in the creeks, that are very, they have nothing, and we drive over there and give them blankets. And I want to let you know that being up there, like, I'm not exaggerating, like 100 times in the last 5 years, it's always peaceful there. And, I've been to Japan, where they have the Buddha's gardens and prayer type situations. And that area is very quiet and very reflective, almost like a meditational area. So I have never heard these loud noises. I would like to call your attention dear Planning Commissioner members, that I did submit a letter to you. It's in your written area. And I did a test myself where I happened to see a wedding going on. So I decided to document it. And there was no noise. There was absolutely no noise. And inside maybe, but outside nothing. So I want to say this, and I'm going to do it in a kind way. We have to start reaching out and understanding other cultures. We don't have that right now with this particular hearing. We have to embrace other cultures and love them. And that's my comment for today.
Mr. Larson, thank you for that. Do we have any more public comment? Okay.
Chair, I'm seeing none.
Yep, seeing none, I will go ahead now and give the applicant 5 minutes to respond. Is the applicant there?
Yes.
All right, you have 5 minutes, sir. And staff, let's make sure they're perfect. Thank you. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Like we just want to add, like all the other speakers has spoken, and the outside events was only during the pandemic, and also like on 4th July or something. Like he's saying that there is a noise coming. That's what we are going to have these buildings. So everything will be done inside, and it is whatever the catering. So we will be doing inside. So this one, I mean, like we have also have the reading of the noise, and they are within the limit. And we have sent you that information from our sound engineer that at certain time he has taken those readings, and we are within those limits. And we speak to people who are only like few hundred feet, like he's 1,000 feet away, and we talk to them, and they said they never hear any noise, and they have no complaint on this one. And also, furthermore, we just want to add that we are doing a lot of future projects, that there will be like a heritage garden up on the hills, which we have a lot of space, and that and we will have a heritage garden and the trails, and that is for not only for our community, and all the other communities can use it. And so we welcome everyone to use that one. And also we like to promote more of the sports for the youngsters, so that they can stay away from the drugs. We have basketball ground, volleyball grounds, and also we have counseling service here, like free medical service. Anybody can come here. And we have also a lot of people, and I have sent you a letter from Mike that he is a volunteer he comes and he serve over here, and he's enjoying to serve in the kitchen. And then he was also a certified state employee for the any violation in the kitchen or something like that, and he has provided you the letter. So that's it, and I think Jesse wants to say a few more things.
Just wanted to add that we currently have no code enforcement violations on record for sound, or only violation that we had is we're correcting it already is from the electrical gate to a manual gate, which is on the side of the road, which most people don't even know there was a gate there that existed. We'll take any questions from the panel.
All right, so that concludes. You're yielding the remaining balance of your time. You're done?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
perfect. Thank you for that. So I will leave the public hearing open in the event that we have questions. And just so we're on the same page, I think staff had made a statement earlier. I think it was staff about noise being a code enforcement issue, not a planning issue for purposes of this decision tonight. Council, is that accurate?
You're speaking to me?
Yeah, so sorry.
Yes, I mean, generally speaking, issues related to code violations would be something subject to a code enforcement case. However, to the extent that noise and things like that are one of the factors or findings that need to be made, then those issues can also be considered by the Planning Commission. But generally, adjudication of prior violations would be something that would be appropriate for code enforcement.
Thank you for that, counsel. All right, with that, colleagues, we have any thoughts, questions, motions,
Don't I get
any or all of the above?
Don't I get 5 minutes to respond?
You do not, sir, but thank you. Colleagues, thank
A
you.
motion to reject the appeal.
Second.
Okay, do we have a second? All right, with that, we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote. Bonilla, yes. Casey?
Yes.
Caballeros absent.
Please.
It was Torrance.
Thank you.
Robert, you reminded me of one of my teachers in grammar school. Very, very stern. Cantrell?
Yes.
Yes. Garcia? Garcia? All right. Lordinois? Lordinois?
All right, I think it went through, yes.
Okay, yes. Is Garcia on the line? I think he was on the line. I don't see him. Okay, we'll go ahead. Montañez?
Yes.
Oliverio?
Yes.
No, that's one is absent. Torrance?
Yes.
Yes. Young?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go back up. Garcia, are you there? Not seeing him. With that, the motion passes.
One quick, I wanted to add on to that, Mr. Bonilla, may I?
No, we are now done. But thank you for that.
Okay, just for,
I am
we
here, Bonilla.
are now done. No, staff, if we can cut this off, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay. All right. With that, we'll now move on to item 6, referrals from city council, boards, commissions, or other agencies. Staff, are there any items?
No.
No? All right. With that, item 7, good and welfare. Staff, is there a report from the city council?
Yes, there is. So yesterday, the city council approved the El Paseo de Saratoga project that came to Planning Commission. And then also 2 weeks ago, the city council approved several city-initiated conforming rezonings.
Okay.
That's about it.
Perfect. Another example of the city council taking their lead from the planning commission. Good job, everyone. All right. Item 7B, subcommittee formation reports and outstanding business. Do we have any items here?
No, we don't.
Item C, commission calendar and study sessions. Do we have any items here?
No, we don't.
All right. Item 7D, recognition of Commissioner Maribel Montañez for her service to the city of San Jose and the Planning Commission. And I will defer to staff on this.
That's right. I do have a resolution to read on behalf of PBC and also the city for Commissioner Montañez. Be it resolved by the Planning Department of the City of San Jose, whereas Ms. Maribel Montañez has served as a member of the Planning Commission from June 24th, 2021 until June 30th, 2022, and whereas Ms. Maribel Montañez, Planning Commissioner of the City of San Jose, has given of herself with devotion, honor, dignity, and integrity, and whereas Ms. Maribel Montañez has served with an interest in land use planning and an understanding and respect for all citizens of San Jose of diverse opinions and backgrounds, and whereas Ms. Maribel Montañez will be remembered as a hardworking and sincere member of the Planning Commission of the City of San Jose. Now, therefore, the staff of the Planning Department of the City of San Jose unanimously approve this resolution of commendation. So thank you very much for your services, Ms. Montañez. We will miss you after June 30th.
Thank you, Robert.
There you go, Commissioner
Chairman
Montañez.
Bonilla, can I say a couple of words?
I was just going to. You could have more than a couple.
Okay, well, I'm usually short with words, so I'll keep it short. I just want to say thank you to all of you, to all the commissioners. It was a very good last year. I wish I could stay on longer, but there's life that comes into play, and I'm also looking at we bought a cabin last December. There's renovations that we're doing out in Idaho, and I just can't give that much attention to the commission that I would really like to give. And I just don't think it's fair to the commission and the commissioners and the city of San Jose to have a commissioner on a commission that's not willing to give 101% of their time. So I wanted to respectfully step away and just kind of put my focus on my family and my little tiny cabin. But it has been it has been a great year, and you're doing great work. Chair Bonilla, thank you for leading us this last year through through everything. I think there's a lot of great changes. I think this commission, just keep moving forward, keep presenting your ideas. I think be creative and innovative. There are issues before you tonight. I sit back and I think, and I'm glad the speakers made some of the comments that they made, because sometimes through land use, we do see that there are issues of equity that we are not necessarily addressing. And I think tonight there's some of that's there, and you have an opportunity to really make good decisions that are equitable to communities. And I think tonight we did that, especially with the last vote. So I just want to say to all of you, thank you so much. I know we never got to see each other in person. The only one that I've met in person is Chair Bonilla. But thank you so much. Thank you for the fun ride, and keep doing the great that you work, and to staff the great work that you do, and staff the same thing. Thank you for everything. I really appreciated being on the commission this last year.
Thank you for your service, Commissioner Montañez. Yes, an applause, an applause. And I remember fondly when you did reach out to me. I remember that meeting and remember the energy and the excitement. And I remember, I think, sharing with you how happy I was that you were on board and how you were part of a new cohort of this 11-member body that I think has shown the rest of the city how we can all come together, agree, disagree, but always respect each other and the city. So thank you for that, Commissioner Montañez. All right. With that, we will, this one's kind of awkward. With that, we'll go to 7E, recognition of Rolando, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, Arturo, my middle name, Bonilla, service to the city of San Jose and Planning Commission. So I'm ready for it.
So we also do have resolution for your service to the city, and also planning, building, and code enforcement, Chair Bonilla. Be it resolved by the Planning Department of the City of San Jose, whereas Mr. Rolando Bonilla has served as a member of the Planning Commission from October 1st, 2019 until June 30th, 2022, and as chairperson from July 14th, 2021 until this day. And whereas Mr. Rolando Bonilla, Planning Commissioner of the City of San Jose, has given of himself with devotion, honor, dignity, and integrity. And whereas Mr. Rolando Bonilla has served with an interest in land use planning and an understanding and respect for all citizens of City of San Jose, of diverse opinions and backgrounds. And whereas Mr. Rolando Bonilla will be remembered as a hardworking and sincere member of the Planning Commission of the City of San Jose. Now, therefore, the staff of the Planning Department of the City of San Jose unanimously approve this resolution of commendation. Thank you very much for your services, Chair Bonilla. We will miss you.
Thank you. The only time in my life where I unanimously in support of me in an election, so I'll take it. But I'll keep it short. I just want to say thank you all for being you. And Commissioner Oliveira may remember in the very beginning, in I think 19, when we were talking about diversity of opinions and perspectives. And I know you've heard me say this along the way that I couldn't have asked for a better group. In fact, when I was asked by a reporter yesterday about my transition, one of the things that I said was I'm the beneficiary of being able to serve with some highly committed and passionate passionate individuals who have succeeded and have lived lives and who simply just want to serve. Remember this feeling tonight. Remember the fact that we all do have differences of opinion. We all come from different walks of life, but we always have put this city first, and we've always respected each other. Remember that as we move forward, as you move forward, as perhaps outside forces and positions try to divide you. Remember that at the end of the day, we're all here because we care. And that should be the only thing governing anyone serving in either appointed and elected office. It has truly been one of the highest honors of my professional life. And that honor is made even more special by the fact that I have gotten to know a lot of you behind the scenes privately. So I wish you goodbye as a colleague, but as I said a couple weeks ago, but not as your friend. You can count on me for any type of support, or if you just want to gossip with someone at lunch, give me a call. Let's stay in touch. To staff, Robert, thank you all for everything you do. Thank you for putting up with me. I know there were times, I think I shared this with Commissioner Oliverio, where I may have been a little too wound up, but I also knew I had to bring my A game when I was working with the best and the brightest in my mind in the city of San Jose and my colleagues and all of you. So thank you for that. Thank you for your support. I wish you nothing but the best, and know that I will always be here rooting for you and supporting you. Let's continue setting the model for leadership in this city. Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
And just so to note, the director will sign these resolutions by Friday, and they will be mailed to both of you respectively.
Perfect. Thank you. I got to tell my kids ahead of time. That way they don't accidentally put it in the recycle bin. So. All right, everyone. With that, we will now go to item 7F, the public record. Do we have any words we want to send on the public record?
Yes.
Commissioner Cantrell?
Yes, I just actually want to take a moment to say thank you, not just for your service, but for your friendship and your camaraderie and your support. It really has truly been a pleasure to serve with you. You've been an honorable person throughout this and this small period I've worked with you, and I'm grateful to have had the experience of working with you. Just thank you.
Thank you kindly, Commissioner Cantrell. All right, seeing none, I'll leave you with this.
But you have hands.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lots of hands.
14 hands. I'm so sorry. Commissioner Torrance.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank you, Commissioner Montanez, for your service. I wish we'd gotten to meet in person. And I just want to say also to Chair Bonilla, wow, you will be missed so much. Your warmth, your humor, your wisdom that you've shared. The only bone I have to pick with you is I once got inspired to maybe have music at the beginning of our meetings, and that hasn't happened yet. So I'm going to pass that to Commissioner Oliverio to consider maybe some fun music instead of silence at the beginning. But beyond that, you are just an amazing human, and I will keep in touch. And thank you for everything.
Thank you. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. Commissioner Ardenois.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much to you, Chair Bonilla, and to Commissioner Montanez. It's been an honor to serve with both of you. And, particularly, it's been a big challenge on this commission the past 2 years, operating over Zoom and dealing with some very contentious issues that have come before us. And I really have been grateful to have the both of you along for that. This has really been a great group to work with, and you'll both be missed. And then also, while we're on the subject of departing colleagues, I remember before Vera retired, she expressed interest in coming to our first in-person meeting once we return in person. And I just wanted to ask staff and just make sure that she's invited to our meeting in July.
We definitely will.
Thank you. And thank you to the both of you, and good luck with everything you do next. You'll be missed.
Thank you, Commissioner Ardenois. Commissioner Oliverio.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to pass on congratulations and thanks to both commissioners. Commissioner Montanez, I hope you enjoyed the ride of land use, and that when you're all throughout the balance of your life, whether it's here or Idaho, that you look at things through that unique lens that you get from the Planning Commission. So thank you very much. Chair Bonilla, thank you for your leadership, your advocacy, and your energy and passion for your community of both San Jose and specifically your neighborhood, which you finally call the East Side. And I think you brought a lens of clarity to many issues and really appreciate it. And I think the words you're hearing from your fellow commissioners are very sincere, and certainly wish you the best. And I know you will continue to be a force for betterment of San Jose. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chair-elect Oliverio. It was a pleasure to serve with you, not as your the staffer next door, but as your colleague. Vice Chair Casey.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Commissioner Martinez, appreciate your service. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And although you end your stint here, I look forward to a friendship and other endeavors as we move down the road. But thank you both for your service.
Commissioner Casey, thank you. Thank you for being an awesome vice chair. Thank you for always being receptive to some of my ideas, and thank you for your support throughout. And with that, I leave you all with this. San Jose, you've got an 11-member planning commission that has devoted itself and will continue to devote itself to serving you. You may not always be happy with the decisions that they make, but they're made out of love, appreciation, and value for each and every one of you in this city. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.
Night. Thank you, everybody.